Hey guys, I'm Jeshua from Carching. I'm going to take you on a ride. Let's go. Carching itself, it's heavy on vehicles, related to vehicles, right? So when I graduated and started working at the time, being typical KL folks, we had to drive. There are public transports available, definitely. Every time I drive, I love driving. It gets me from point A to point B, it gets productive, getting to meet your friends. But there's a lot of trade-offs, obviously cost is one thing, right? You have to maintain your car, petrol, parking. Somehow the culture is start work at 9 a.m, ends at 6 p.m. Everyone bottlenecks to the city centre, creates a lot of traffic jams. So that really kind of irritates me every day as I go to work. And I question myself, like, is there a better way to do this, right? Can we actually make our time more useful? Like, for example, right now, we're driving, I'm doing this interview, being productive. Time is used wisely, right? Similarly, in a day-to-day concept, what else can we do to generate more value from every trip that we make? And that's where really Carching is born. Right? So the first thing that we look at is, first, it has to be improving people's lives, not disruptive. And second, it has to unlock value, whether it's monetary or time. It started off really like every startup story. Once you have an idea, the first thing you do is you go straight to your friends, your closest friends, and ask them, hey, I got this idea. What if we do this? What if we do that? So I had conversation with my friends. Firstly, this was way before Grab even came in the scene or even Uber started. Like at that time, my family drives a lot to Penang. My family's from Penang. So sometimes there's always empty seats. And I always ask them like, hey, why don't we start selling empty seats? On Facebook group, we create a Facebook group, say, I'm going to Penang this weekend. Anybody wants to buy 50 ringgit one way, or something like that. They say crazy, nobody wants to jump into a stranger's car, they get kidnapped and stuff. And look at we today, we happily jump into a stranger's car that we call via Grab or in other countries, Uber, right? So conversation started off that way. A lot of pushback from friends and family then. So that kind of discouraged me at the very beginning on whether this idea would work, about utilizing your car more effectively. Also, at a very early stage, a very early age, when you're 23, 24 years old, you don't have that much experience or even network or a strong support system for you to launch a company. I respect those founders who started off that way. Hats off, really. At that moment, I felt stability was a bit more important. Learning and growing, building a strong foundation was more important. That's why nothing happened till very recent, where I decided to leave the finance industry. That's when I know, enough is enough. I've given myself enough time to learn. Now, time to dive deep into the deep depths of the ocean. So, Carching is like a B2B2C company. So, as you own a car, there's a lot of downsides to it, like I mentioned just now, the costs. You have to pay your petrol, your parking, your toll, your maintenance. Not only that, you also lose time. We calculated about 170 hours you lose every year because of traffic. That's 170 episodes of Netflix that you can never get back. Or even, if you put it in salary terms, an average income in KL, that's nearly 6,000 ringgit disappeared every year, just like that. Right? So from a consumer's point of view, from a user's point of view, we are helping you unlock more value as a driver to counter these effects. And Carching promises to pay up to 500 ringgit every month just using our solution. On the B2B side, because it's B2B2C, on the B2B side, we help companies to find a new way to have a stronger brand presence. Today, digital marketing is like a go-to strategy for a lot of brands. No doubt, highly effective, right? But ask yourself today, do you even remember the last ad you saw on Instagram? Probably not. So, cost of impressions on the digital marketing side is actually increasing. It's becoming less effective. So as you look at other medias, like for example the billboards that are on the road today, there's the typical problems that you have. First, it's expensive. Second, it's stationary. You can't really move around. You have to buy multiple billboards if you want to have multiple presence. And there's a lack of data. And it's also a cookie cutter system, right? Every billboard you see is pretty much the same. No excitement there. So we're providing a new way, a new media for brands to ignite excitement on the streets of KL. I founded Carching on my own. I think most of the challenge would be not knowing what to do next, or more so, not sure which is the right option to take. I think that's the first major obstacle that I faced, especially in a very early stage. And you can never really know I would say. You can get as much advice as you want. All you have to do is just pull the trigger. Decide on one, commit to it. If it doesn't work out, be ready to pivot to option number 2. And once you've decided on certain direction, the second big challenge would be getting people to buy into the idea. And when I say buy-in, it's not just, oh, that's a good idea, go ahead, but buy-in, but also be committed to it. So for people to join the company, whether it's part-time, whether it's helping out a little bit here and there, or whether it's full-time, that was a challenge. At the very beginning, as a founder, you had nothing. You only had a bit of cash. You have an idea on paper that you think could work, could not work, not sure. And your salesmanship, you need to sell the idea well. There's 3 things, right, to be able to convince people to join. And that was a big obstacle. It took a while to find the first starting core team. I'm glad that I managed to find it, and most of them are still around to help me today. So these 2 things are the biggest challenge that I have. So yeah, being on Carching is really easy. Just download an app onto your phone, whether it's on Google Play Store or Apple App Store, and sign up for an account. Once you sign up for an account, you have to submit a few documents to show that you're the car owner. You have to see your car condition as well. And once your car is approved, you're ready to drive campaigns already. We have a very familiar UI where you can just swipe left or swipe right to certain campaigns that you like, certain brands that you want to be part of. And once you pick the brand that you want, you'll be able to see how the designs look like on your car. Like them, pick a installation slot, come for the installation, we'll do it for you end to end. Pick up your car in an hour's time and you're ready to drive and start earning money. And when you're driving around, all you have to do is just press one button to start the app, and we'll collect driving data in the background. You'll be able to use your Google Map or Waze after that. Don't have to worry. And once you arrive at your destination, just press another button to turn it off. That will be logging in your journeys, and you'll be able to convert those KM into RM. So once you're done with the campaign at the end of the month or at the end of the campaign, we'll send you a notification to book a slot to come back for the renewal process. And again, don't worry, we'll do end-to-end for you. You get to pick a location, pick a time, a day, leave your car for the next 15 minutes or half an hour, and the job is done. You'll be able to collect your car again. As I mentioned just now, Carching's aspirations is beyond advertising, beyond branding. In the future, we want to solve things like, can you utilize your time more effectively when you're stuck in traffic or when you're driving? For example, like this, you're taking an interview or you can make a call. We are also helping you to save time searching for parking. Like I said, in Q1, you'll probably be seeing something coming up soon. And probably boot spaces that they are empty, right? Can we fill it up, something generate value as you drive for your road trip down to Malacca or Penang, going up to Penang. So that's really where we are heading towards, helping you generate more value from every trip that you make. But at the same time, at the back of it, we want to be that data aggregator company that will be able to figure out driving behaviors of people in towns, in city centers. Where do people usually go, or even go for lunch? That's where we are angling ourselves in the back of all. We want to be that go-to app for users to use while they are in transit driving around, and at the same time figuring out the driving behavior of city dwellers. Today, we're just in Klang Valley and a few states in Semenanjung. Soon, in 2-3 years' time, you'll see us going to places with high traffic, high population in our neighboring countries. For example, Jakarta, Bangkok. Those are the sweet spots that we really want to be targeting.